Hi, Kimberly. Sorry, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Thank you. I apologize. I forgot to unmute myself. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. This is our presentation for the rising class of 2024 for Hebron High School. These are, if you have a student who is going to be a rising 11th or 12th grader, then we'll have a presentation that will start at noon. The information that's available in both presentations are similar, but this one focuses more on our students who will be new to the main campus. My name is Kim Klingen, and I am a counselor for students whose last names are NGU through SC. We also have our other counselors here on the main campus available, and they will be monitoring questions in the chat. I believe one of our counselors already put up our direct contacts in the chat. So if you have a question that's specific to your student, then please contact your counselor directly. Available here with us today, in addition to me, we have Mrs. Hood, Mrs. Rayford, Mrs. Lovett, Dr. Fields, I believe, is going to be joining us a little bit later, and Mrs. Renee is here as well. Since we have all this COVID stuff and scheduling and virtual, meeting with every student this year to do registration is going to be difficult. So we're excited to have the 9th grade counselors who are available to answer questions about classes for next year as well. So feel free to reach out to Mr. Hughes and Mrs. Burgess as well. This presentation will be posted on the website. So if you joined us by phone and can't see the presentation that I have, that I'll be putting up here in just a minute, it will be available for you to see. I'll post the video and I'll post just the slides for the presentation as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing that now. Again, if you have questions that are for the good of the group, please post them in the chat and the counselors will be available to answer those questions. Please, if you turned on your video, we're expecting to have quite a few people in this meeting, so please have your video turned off, and that'll keep it so that we can keep this running. Again, this is the registration meeting for the rising class of 2024, who will be 10th graders next school year. One of the questions that we get asked most here at Hebron whenever students are looking to register is, what exactly is the difference between dual credit and AP? We had a presentation yesterday that is posted on the website that is specifically about advanced academics, but this is just kind of a quick summary of that also. Dual credit allows students to take college credit while also getting credit at high school, where AP students will take courses and exams and earn college credit once they take a test and score potentially a 3 or higher. Dual credit classes are taught by college instructors or teachers who serve as adjunct professors, while AP courses are taught by high school teachers that are trained by the College Board. Dual credit classes are accepted by public colleges and universities in Texas, as well as private universities. And they are accepted by many colleges and universities that are across the nation as well. Each college has a website that'll show what the transfer guide would be for their college. AP courses are accepted throughout the nation, and each college has a chart that shows what the score equivalents to course equivalents would be for their college. The dual credit classes can either be taught at the high schools, online, or on the specific community college campus, where AP courses are only taught at LISD high schools, or some classes are taught through VLA, so those classes can be online. In order to take classes, dual credit students have to meet TSI requirements, where AP is available to any student. Dual credit costs the going rate for college credits, which is posted on Collin College's website every fall. And for AP, students only have to pay the cost for the exam. Your student, as a freshman right now, going to be a sophomore, is taking classes that are weighted. Weighted classes are, as you're looking in the course description guide, it'll show that a class is a 0, 1, 2, or 3, and this has the equivalent weights for those classes. So if a class is a 0, those are classes that are modified and it has a weight of 1. For a class with a level 1, that's your general education coursework that have a 1.1. If classes are at a 2, those are the honors courses that have a 1.15 multiplier. And AP, ACTEC, and dual credit classes are a level 3 with a 1.2 multiplier. And what that means is that if a student gets a grade of an 80 in an honors course, that grade is multiplied by 1.15 for an honors, and if it's an AP, it's at a 1.2. And those numbers are not used for pass-fail. They're used for determining a student's rank in class. A lot of students want to know, as freshmen, when am I going to get my first rank? And you will have that after the fall of your sophomore year. That way you have 3 semesters of, your student will have 3 semesters of coursework before they actually see what that cumulative number is and where they stand with their peers. One of the reasons why the district waits so long to give that information is because we used to give it after 1 semester, which means that students usually only have like 2 classes that are in there. So we'll have like 30 students ranked at number 1. And that's not an appropriate number to compare themselves to. So by waiting end of the fall semester of sophomore year, your student will know more of where they stand in their rank in class. The reason why we want to make sure that you know that is because course selection is going to start, and many students want to know which level classes should I take, and what's going to help my rank, what's going to help that go up, and knowing where where those numbers multiply and how performing is will help you to make those selections for those classes. So course selection is going to be available tomorrow. The materials will be available tomorrow and advisory. All materials this year are posted online, and students need to select courses that total 8 credits and at least 4 alternate courses. Alternate courses, we use them very regularly. So if an elective doesn't fit, we will look and see what those alternates are to try to make sure that we pick classes and put classes on your student's schedule that were ones that they are interested in taking, rather than us just randomly picking classes for your student. So make sure when your student is picking alternate classes and putting those into Skyward that they're classes that they would truly be interested in taking. So if your student really has no interest in doing lifetime nutrition and wellness, then don't put that class in there. They'd rather do computer science than pick that computer science class and put that in there as an alternate. So make sure that the classes that you put in, your student puts in for classes, are ones that they want and ones that they would be okay if they ended up not getting their first choices. Courses that are selected need to be input in Skyward by 11:59 p.m. right before midnight on Sunday, February 21st. Now, some parents and students have said, well, what if the advisory teacher doesn't have the presentation or forgets to post it, or what if my student is absent on Friday? We will have everything available online as well on the Hebron Counseling website under the course selection. We will put the presentation on there. We'll have this presentation on there. The advanced academic presentation is on there as well, and all of the instructions and materials will be posted so your student won't miss out on the start of the registration. Okay, once students have chosen their courses, they need to be input in Skyward, and you'll select courses in Skyward based on the course number. So when your student is looking online at the materials, it'll have the name of the course and the course number. And again, the directions for inputting those will be distributed on Friday. The best way to do it is to put in the course number. You know, there is a way to look it up by name also, which is okay, but the best way to make sure you get the absolute course that your student wants to put in is to put in the course number. All right, so what classes does your student need to pick? In order to graduate, students need to take 4 English credits, so there's one every year. They need to do 4 math credits, which should include Algebra II, 4 science credits, which should include either chemistry or physics, and social studies, definitely 3 credits. And we recommend that students do both world geography and world history. I have down there an asterisk for 4 social studies are required for the multidisciplinary endorsements. There are lots of options for endorsements. Most of our students meet the multidisciplinary endorsements. We used to call it 4x4. We still kind of refer to it as 4x4, but I can tell you that every university that we've talked to their admissions, that we've talked to for options, the colleges are all very happy whenever students graduate with the multidisciplinary endorsement. Many students who will graduate on, say, the STEM endorsement with a focus on math or science, well, they end up getting the multidisciplinary endorsement also. So just because a student has one doesn't mean that they can't have 3 or 4 other endorsements. We just know that every college recognizes the multidisciplinary endorsement. So that's what we recommend whenever if a student says, well, what class do I pick? Well, you do 4 English, 4 math, 4 science, and 4 social studies. All right, AP on regular are all options for core courses. When you're trying to decide which level classes your students should take, think about the accelerated block and think about the stress level for your student. We try really hard to get 2 core courses in the fall and 2 core courses in the spring, but the fact is that is just not a guarantee. We think of it as a priority that if your student puts in classes that they want as priority classes, we try to get them those courses in any way that we possibly can. So, and not only that, but if you double up on math and science, that's going to automatically make it so that one of the terms has 3 and the other one has 2 at best. Also, if your student plans to double up on math and science, it is for sophomores to double up on math and science. Staffing plays the largest part in this. Because if we have only 100 spaces and 15 of those students who signed up for double, and we have 115 people request classes, then the students who were doubled up will only get the single course. There have been times that this has taken place. So if your student wants to double up on math or science, then go on ahead and request that. But if staffing becomes to be an option, then that second core course, math or science class, will be pulled out of the requests. Please note, though, the math and science department leads recommend students wait until junior year to double up on core classes. And that's just because those other classes are out of the way. The mandatory electives are out of the way. There's a lot of maturity difference between sophomore and a junior. I can speak for me personally that my students who have come in the spring term and asked for schedule changes, it's been because they've bitten off more than they could chew, and that, having Algebra II pre-AP in the fall and pre-cal pre-AP in the spring doubled up with chemistry pre-AP just ended up being more than they could handle. So think about your student and think about maturity before signing up to double up on those core classes. Junior year, we don't have as much stress level with that, but sophomore year can be kind of rough. All right, for the Virtual Learning Academy, classes are available for VLA, and the district offers online courses. These are taught by LISD teachers, but not Hebron teachers. They can be taken either inside or outside the school day. Inside the school day, the course can be taken either first, third, or fourth period. And the expectation is that the student will not be on campus. If it's first period, then that means that your student just comes for second period. If it's fourth period, then that means that they leave after third period and go home and work on their class. If it's third period and your student doesn't drive, the expectation is that they're not going to be here. So that would be something to consider if your student ends up taking a third period virtual class. If your student wants to take classes outside the school day, registration is a different procedure. The VLA website will have more information. Courses taken inside the school day through VLA have no cost for those classes. If they're taken outside the school day, then there is a fee, and that's one of the reasons why it's a different process for registration. We'll help with that process by getting you in contact with the VLA people that could help you out with that. All right, for gifted and talented classes, curriculum is offered for GT students who qualify for GT as either honors or AP classes. And the number of sections created in the master schedule that are designated GT, which means students who are in there are students only who are classified as gifted and talented. That is based on student course requests. So if we don't have enough students who signed up for those courses, then those students would go into the honors or AP equivalent of that course. Scheduling on these courses is limited if a student requests all GT classes. And a good example of that would be if a student has GT Algebra II and GT World History, and those classes end up only being offered during third period in the fall, then that student will only get one of those GT courses and the other would go into the honors or AP equivalent. All honors and AP courses have both GT and non-GT students who are in there. The teachers who teach the honors courses and the AP courses have gone through GT training and certification to work with students who have the classification of GT. Dual credit. Yes, dual credit is available to sophomores. Again, dual credit, successful completion of courses earns both high school and college credit. In 10th grade, that class is World Civilizations. And that is the equivalent of world history high school credit. This class is offered through Collin, and the students have to register as a Collin student. There's a several step process to it, and rather than taking your time on here because it is a long registration process, I can tell you that whenever if your student is planning on doing the dual credit World Civ class, they'll pick either regular or AP World History, and then there will be a Google Doc that is available to say, hey, I'm interested in taking dual credit. Once we start having the interest come up and ready to start that dual credit registration process, we will have a dual credit meeting, and by filling out that Google Doc, which is not posted yet, it won't be posted until tomorrow. Once that is there, then you and your student will both be receiving information about coming to the dual credit meeting, determining if that's a class that you'd like to do. It is not actually put on your schedule, on your student's schedule, until registration with Collin College is complete. So it's several steps. Just signing up for it in Skyward isn't all that it is. But in the meantime, if there was one thing that I could recommend, it's to start taking a look now at the colleges your student is interested in attending, because not every major at every university requires world civilizations. So if you're just wanting to have your student do dual credit, or your student just wants to take dual credit to say, hey, I'm doing dual credit, you might want to take some time and make sure that that's a class that's going to be worth your time and your students' time to take that class, or if it's better to wait until junior year to do the English and history combination, because those 4 classes Almost every university that I've talked to requires those 4 classes towards graduation, but not every major and not every university requires those those 2 World Civ courses for college graduation. As of right now, we're looking at having World Civilizations to be offered in the fall term only. So when you're thinking about schedule, if your student's in band and wants to do dual credit, it's possible that during marching season there might be some heavy work that's going on there. All right, some sample schedule examples. This is kind of going back to where I was talking about that we can't guarantee that the student will have 2 cores in the fall and 2 cores in the spring. This particular student has band and wanted a career center class. Career center classes are double scheduled, so they're double blocked in either fall or spring. Band is 2 periods, 1 period in the fall and 1 in the spring. So this particular student during marching season has Algebra II honors, English II honors, and Chemistry honors during marching season, but in the spring has band, world history, and the career center class. So fall happened to have fallen heavy in this one. In the spring happened to fall light. Where the career center classes fall is out of our control. We're given certain spots, and that particular career center class may not have even been offered in the fall. So this particular kiddo just kind of had a rough go there. All right, this student had requested 2 classes that only fit in the fall, but also had choir. So had an easy fall, but then had English II, geometry, and chemistry all honors in the spring. We happened to have gotten all of the requests that they wanted, but it didn't make for an easy, balanced schedule. But the student got everything that they wanted there. All right, so now for core options that are available. Again, that's going to be English, math, science, and social studies. Your student will request for sure 1 in each of those areas. So for 10th grade, your student will take English II. That class can be either on level, so English II regular, it could be English II honors, or gifted and talented honors English II. English II is a requirement for graduation. It is also a STAR EOC tested course. So the course must be passed and the test must be passed in order to meet graduation requirements for the state of Texas. For honors, the focus is on critical reading and grammar. There's formal writing. The course assumes that students have the ability and willingness to read 25 pages independently a day, and that's outside of the class period in order to prepare for classroom and written discussions and assignments. And that's 25 pages independently on top of potential homework that's outside the school day as well. There's class selected and independently selected works. Students will keep a writer's notebook, and there will be other varieties of writing. There will be timed writing and untimed writing. There will be argumentative writing, rhetorical analysis, and creative writing. Students participate in discussions, and they produce work that reflect critical thinking and time and effort. For math, there are a couple of different options for sophomore math. Geometry is what students take if in the 9th grade, the student took Algebra I. So if your student's in Algebra I right now, then they'll take geometry. It can be either on level or it can be honors. If your student right now is in geometry, then the class that they'll take is Algebra II, and that can be either on level or honors as well. If your student happens to be in Algebra II right now, it's possible that they'll be taking pre-cal. Please contact the counselor because we will need to, I believe, add that in Skyward for your student. But that's a couple cases. That's not the majority of the students in 9th grade right now. So your student is more than likely going to sign up for geometry or Algebra II. For honors geometry, if a student took Algebra I AB, we do not recommend that a student takes honors geometry. The pace is super fast for a student who had taken Algebra I all year to go from taking a whole year to get math to all of a sudden trying to get it with the rigor and the pace, we would recommend that the student take regular geometry. If your student would like to take the pre-AP geometry, then we recommend that if it was in regular Algebra 1, the student has at least a B average, and I like to say 85. Or if your student took pre-AP Algebra 1, same thing. If you have a B, keep on going with that pre-AP level. Be prepared to work. There is definitely homework outside the school day, and there's daily homework, major projects, quizzes, tests, all of those things that go along with the grading process. Again, there is mandatory homework outside the school day. All right, for Honors Algebra 2, it's the same thing with a recommendation of 90 or better in regular Algebra 1 or in the Algebra 1 pre-AP, and it is not recommended for the students who took the Algebra AB all year. There is a summer assignment, which will be posted whenever we get closer to the end of the school year. And a lot of times that summer assignment kind of gives you a heads up on what's going to be coming in that Algebra 2. Even if your student ends up taking the Algebra 2 in the spring, the expectation is that the student does the summer assignment the summer before sophomore year. Each concept is in depth, and tests are free response. So if your student needs that multiple choice, just know that they need to start getting prepped to be able to do some free response stuff there. Calculators aren't commonly used. Yes, they do use calculators in there, but students are expected to show all work on tests, so you can't just put it in that graphing calculator and write that number down. That was the answer. Students have to be able to show how they got their answers, and they will review problems over concepts that they learned in the unit, but they aren't the same questions on the exam. So if your student is used to those ones that the test looks exactly like the review sheet, there's going to be a little bit less than that in the Algebra 2 honors. The homework is the same as regular Algebra 2, but there is supplemental work, so they get more in depth to each of the concepts. And successful students have a strong work ethic, they're self-motivated, and they are organized. Social studies. For 10th grade social studies, if your student took world geography in the 9th grade, then it's not required for the 10th grade. Again, though, it is recommended to take world history. If your student is fine doing a social studies class, but really doesn't want to do that world history, you could look at doing psychology and sociology or street law or history of the world after World War II. We have lots of options, but we recommend the world history. The colleges really like to see that 4th social studies, and that world history is a great way to link that world geography with the world history while they're on a roll. Colleges and some high school endorsements require that 4th social studies. But again, it could come under any combination. World history can be taken as on level or AP or GT-AP. And again, the World Civ will be available in the fall. If you're interested in doing that, then sign up for either World History or AP World History and fill out the Google Doc when that is available to show that your student is interested in taking dual credit. All right, World History AP, also known as WAP, is designed to have the rigor of a college freshman. There is substantial essay writing. Students participate in discussions, and they read documents that are at a college level. Course requires substantial time commitment. It is a substantial time commitment to do World History AP. The first 3 to 6 weeks are incredibly challenging, and our teachers start having students write and read and perform at the college level immediately during the first 3 to 6 weeks. So if your student, you know that your student can do it, just hasn't had to push themselves this hard, please be supportive and know that you can do this, you can get through it. There's a big difference between not necessarily being used to the amount of work that is there versus not being able to do the work that is there. I can tell you that whenever students make it through that WAP and finish it up, they are well prepared to go on to the AP US History. They're well prepared to go on to AP English 3 and AP English 4. It is a lot of work, but it is such an excellent springboard into that advanced coursework. We encourage our students who want to sign up and do WAP and who do sign up to do WAP to stick it out because it is totally worth it. All right, successful participants, time management is the key. This student enjoys the academic challenge. They're not just doing it because the multiplier, they're doing it because they love to work hard and they love to do all of that work. Note-taking skills and study skills are taught and used in there, and students will put that learning to equal of the number grade. Just like I was talking about, it's not just taking it to get that 1.2 multiplier, it's doing it because you like to do that college level work and you like the challenge. For 10th grade science, students can either take integrated physics and chemistry or physics as the second science credit. You have to have 4 science credits. This will be the second science credit. IPC is only taught on level. Chemistry and physics can be taken as either on level or honors. Gifted and talented honors chemistry is offered. We do recommend that students wait until junior year to take physics or physics honors. Physics 1 AP is listed in the course description guide as available in our district to sophomores or juniors or seniors. However, our seating at Hebron and course requests make it so that we can't offer it to our sophomores. AP Physics 1 is for juniors. So if your student wants to double up on science, know that it will be chemistry or chemistry pre-AP, physics and physics pre-AP. If physics AP is the course that your student wants to take, then I would wait until junior year to take that class and double up on math instead. So chemistry, physics, pre-AP, or excuse me, honors or honors. And that would be as a sophomore. And again, we recommend physics for juniors. Take either IPC or chemistry if you're looking for a recommendation. Some high school endorsement plans require chemistry or physics. Almost everyone requires either chemistry or physics. The major that requires, or not major, excuse me, the endorsement that requires both chemistry and physics is the STEM endorsement. So if your student is looking to get the STEM endorsement, then they'll have to do both physics and chemistry, but that doesn't mean they have to do them both sophomore year. They can do one of them sophomore and one of them junior. Students taking either honors chemistry or honors physics should have a strong 9th grade math and science grades. Math and science are strongly linked. And college-bound students, regardless of endorsement, should consider taking both chemistry and physics, regardless of endorsement. Your student will have to take 2 languages other than English prior to graduation. Many students took Spanish in middle school. Many students took Spanish 1 and 2 as a freshman. If your student has not taken Spanish or French or Latin or sign language yet, then know that your student has to take 2 credits in order to meet graduation requirements. We recommend that students go on ahead and get that out of the way by the end of sophomore year. And the way that it works is one class will be in the fall and the other class would fall in the spring. And then that way both credits of the language are completed in one school year. Some students will wait until junior year or senior year. We don't recommend that. If you're looking for electives to take and you have the room, get it out of the way now. All right, again, first level in the fall, second level in the spring. One other language that I didn't list there is computer science. So computer science 1 can be taken in the fall and AP computer science can be taken in the spring. We had a little bit of scheduling concerns with that with the virtual options this school year. So if your student took Comp Sci 1, this school year, then they can take AP Comp Sci, and that will meet the second LOTE for your student if Comp Sci was a class that they took this school year. All right, Tech East and Tech West classes. These are some other options for electives. We used to know these classes as Dale Jackson and Career Center East, but now it's TECCE, Tech East, and TECCW, Tech West. They are double blocked for 2 class periods, so 2 class periods in the fall or 2 class periods in the spring. You'll take it, your student will take it either first and second or take it third and fourth. And again, those classes are not at our campus. They're taught at either Tech East, which is over behind Killian, or at Tech West, which is over in Louisville on the other side of the Music City Mall over there. There's so many great elective courses that are available at those locations. And if your student has some interests that they'd like to explore further, then I would strongly take a look at maybe doing some of those courses. All right, 10th grade PSAT. All 10th grade students in LISD are signed up to take the PSAT. There is no charge for 10th grade students to take that test. It is given in October, and depending on that score, students are invited to take the PSAT class during the fall of 11th grade. The 11th grade PSAT is the score that's used to determine if a student is potentially national merit, and that's beneficial for scholarships in college. Sophomore is more the practice version of the test, where the NMSQT, that's the junior one. So whenever your student is taking that test in October, you won't get any kind of notice that, hey, you need to sign up for it. They're already signed up for it. Just know that they're going to take that test in October. The Hugh O'Brien HOBIE is a summer leadership program that is used to develop leadership potential, and it's available to all 10th grade students to apply in October. It's a program that Hebron pays for to send a chosen student as a leader to get some training. The application comes available, and Ms. Hood sends that information out early. It comes to both students and to parents. Our students who've gone on to go through this training and this leadership program have come back and they've been leaders in our school. So we strongly encourage students to apply to potentially participate in HOBIE. All right, the SAT and ACT is a test that's required for college admissions. We recommend that students take it junior year as close to finishing the math class as possible. So if a student takes their math class in the fall, then we recommend they take it December, January. The math classes in the spring, we recommend they take it in May or June. Some students want to take it as a sophomore. You really want to have as much math as you can. I would wait until junior year. We don't register you here at Hebron. That goes through the College Board website or the ACT student website. Hebron is not a testing site, and that test takes place on Saturdays and designated spots. We've had some testing that's gone on with COVID where we've had some opportunities for students to test. I don't know that those are going to continue. We haven't had any instruction on that yet. But when your student is planning on doing that, know that it'll be junior year whenever they're going to want to take that test. This year, with all of the virtual and in-person and remote and this and that, I don't know for sure that every student will be able to have a one-on-one. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about your classes. All students will have an opportunity to update and change their course requests during verification. Verification is scheduled during May 3rd through 7th. Students whose requests are incomplete will meet with either one of the 9th grade counselors, a main campus counselor, or a tech counselor, depending on where they attend classes during this 4th 9 weeks. All students will have an opportunity to sign up for a brief individual meeting between, in the month of April. So try to get through the process. Email the counselor if you have questions. But once we get through the registration process and before verification, there will be an opportunity for your student to meet with a counselor individually. For change policies, remember please that schedules are set for the year once school begins. If there's an error in the schedule, or if there's a program change, your student decides that they don't want to play soccer anymore, or they weren't going to be in band and decided to be in band again, or they decided they want to do ROTC, we will adjust those schedules to be able to make sure that they are in their program or out of the program that they dropped. We can't request teacher changes. The classes are set with the teachers. If you have a concern with a teacher, please contact the teacher directly. For changing out of honors and AP classes, those will take place at the 9 weeks if there is an academic need that is shown, and we can't make elective changes. So that's another reason why it's really important. Alternates are classes that you really want to take, because if your main class doesn't fit, we put that alternate. I can tell you that there have been lots of times that it's been, well, that was in my alternate. Why is that in there? Well, because it was in your alternate, but I didn't really want it. Well, sweetie, I'm sorry, but that was in your alternate, so that's the class that you're going to get. The master schedule is set based on the courses that you pick. So please take the time and think about your classes so that we make sure that we have the teachers that are selected for the classes that you really, really want to take. As a wrap up, all students need to enter their classes in Skyward by February 21st. And that's at 11:59 p.m. So you'll have all day on the 21st to enter those. Specific questions will be addressed once your counselor reviews the course requests in Skyward. Please go to the website, the Hebron Counseling website. Please keep an eye on your student and parent email blasts. I know you're getting lots and lots of email blasts right now, but when we have information that needs to be distributed from the counseling department, we send them through those email blasts, and we also put information on Twitter, so you can monitor @Hawks Counselor on Twitter for updated information as well. All of these parent information sessions will be posted on the website, as well as the PDF of the presentation as well. If you don't want to listen to my lovely voice one more time, well, the presentation will be up there too. And all materials will be posted on the website so that you can either print them or review them. So everything will be up there. And that's the end of my presentation. I am going to stay on for a couple more minutes. Again, we have our counselors available in chat. I've been seeing the chat that's been coming up there this whole time. So I know that everybody's had lots of questions. Please feel free to reach out to your student's individual counselor for additional information. And also, please feel free to reach out to the Tech East and Tech West counselors if you have questions about the career centers. I know that I can tell you some basic information about health science and about the horticulture program and about vet tech, but they can tell you specifics about what needs to be available, what needs to be, what classes a student should take, what they need to sign up for. I can tell you how great the programs are. They can tell you how amazing they are. So please feel free to reach out to any of us to answer your questions. And we appreciate your time. And we really look forward to seeing everybody next year. Hopefully we'll be back on campus again. Have a great day, everybody. I'm stopping the recording.